Okay, let's do it one more time. Okay, NAMM Believe in Music 2021. This is a recap or a wrap up, whatever you want to call it. So, NAMM was pretty interesting. Obviously, it was online this year. It was virtual. We are on lockdown, so things are a little different this year. So NAMM had to be online, and basically, when NAMM was in person, you would go to NAMM. Generally, it was in Anaheim, California. You would see hundreds of vendors, right? Just hundreds. And, all your favorite DJ companies, all your favorite software companies, all your favorite music production companies. If you're into guitars, it's all over the place. But this year, it had to be virtual due to, again, the lockdown. And there were some big differences with this NAMM. Obviously, it's virtual, but one noticeable difference was the lack of DJ companies that were available at NAMM. Denon wasn't there, Rain wasn't there, Newmark wasn't there, Akai wasn't there, in terms of music production. Alesis wasn't there. Basically none of the, or I should say most of the major brands that are owned by end music brands, they were not there. And it's weird because, Rain came out with the Rain 1 the week before. So you would think, hey, they would be there at NAMM virtual, doing all their sort of events, their live events, things of that nature, but it didn't work out that way. They were not there. And, I kind of have my own reasons why they were not there, but we'll get into that later. But they were not there. Allen and Heath Zone play differently. And, that's, Allen and Heath, they play differently DJ mixers. Reloop was there. Hercules was there if you're into Hercules. Pioneer was there, but not really. And Native Instruments was there too. So how about that? But, again, these events were a little different. And, I have the actual website you log into to, set up event, view events, sign up for different events, things of that nature. And so let's take a look at it. So let's just refresh that. And here we are right here, right? And as you can see, everything is right here. And you have the ability to, just scroll through different categories, brands, products, things of that nature. You had your brands right here. The brands were just absolutely insane. I mean, lots of brands here. And this area right here was like an infinite scroll. So, I mean, if you were thinking about just scrolling through and finding your companies, you really couldn't do that. But they did have a search function right here. So if you just typed in something you wanted to find, I just typed in Allen, so everything was right there. And then you can sort of bookmark, the company that you were really into. And on the side here, I have all of my bookmarks here. And so let me just scroll down all the way to the bottom, and then you will see that I had Ableton here, Allen and Heath, Zone, American Music and Sound. That's the company that sort of runs, shop for Reloop and a bunch of other companies, also Allen and Heath. It was just pretty interesting how everything was. All this is available until the 28th of next month. So you do have the ability to go in and look at all this content that's still there. But, the content was kind of interesting, the way that NAMM was presented, the way that these companies presented their products, their wares. A lot of these events, they were not live events. They were pre-recorded. I mean, so why even spend money for NAMM when you can just pre-record it, put it up on YouTube and sort of do it that way? Again, most of them were pre-recorded. So that was pretty interesting and sort of disappointing as well. You go to some of these virtual conferences or conventions and, you want to see things that are live. You want to see that engagement, that interaction, but we weren't able to get that with a lot of these companies. So it's pretty interesting that it happened that way. Then you were also able to set up one-on-ones. Now, the one-on-ones were, they needed some work because, one, not all companies wanted to do one-on-ones. You would set up an event, a one-on-one with the company, and then a couple hours later, they're like, hey, can we change this? Like, sure, I can change it to another date and time. Sure, everything was just like fluid, and, they weren't really sort of respecting those dates and times. I did 2 one-on-ones with 2 companies. That's it. And it just didn't work out. So again, if I go back into my home and then I go back into my events, here are all the events I tried to go to, but some of them were just, the thing about, okay, so here's the thing. You have to ask yourself this, right? In the age of the gold standard Apple developer conferences that are being done virtually, right? That's the gold standard. They're owning every single aspect of production, of release. I mean, they have, cut-ins, drone shots, overhead drone shots. It's completely amazing. So they can then put the product together and present it in a way that they feel works for them. And it probably doesn't cost them a lot of money to do that. When you think about if you had a, physical NAMM, and, some of these companies are paying upwards to like $500,000 just for a booth and everything else. So it really doesn't work. Virtual NAMM, I'm quite sure they were looking at like $10,000 to $30,000, something like that. But still, does it work? I don't know. So, but these companies are probably thinking like, well, if Apple is basically doing it this way, maybe we can do it this way too. Maybe we can own the entire production and create the value that we want to create. So I think a lot of companies are looking at that, and they're thinking that, what, do we want to spend $500,000 on a physical convention or a conference when we can sort of put this together ourselves, put it up on YouTube, and just create a really great experience, for the user. So that's something just to think about, in the future. Will these companies continue to attend and pay money to go to these conferences, these conventions, to set up booths, and to just have people come by, content creators, look at their wares, talk about it for 5 or 10 minutes, and then that's it? That's good. But, the other thing is you can do this yourself. You can send, your products to different content creators, and then you can create buzz a whole bunch of different ways, but you still own the production. You still own the value of what you're putting out there. So again, something to just think about. All of my events were here. And then the other thing that was really just sort of interesting is when you set up the one-on-ones, then the entire video meeting was set up within the NAMM login, the web page. So you really didn't have the ability to open the recording up to, full screen. You had no ability to select your camera or your microphone. You basically had to go off your webcam. So that was kind of weird. I set something up with a vendor, and this was the first time I did a one-on-one at NAMM. And then it was like, well, hey, I can't, select my camera, and I can't select my microphone. And so I ended up using my webcam on my laptop, and it was just a bad experience. We ended up like shutting that down and then just doing a Zoom. It just didn't work out, so I don't know. So what do I think about NAMM Believe in Music 2021? Well, it's a first. It was the first time that NAMM did this, so you have to give them some leeway that this is a first. They have to get some things right, give the attendees the ability to record, some of these one-on-one meetings, to select their own camera, to select their own microphones. Again, I was not able to do that, and I'm pretty tech savvy, so I don't know why, this didn't work. So I don't know. So I don't want to rate it because, again, this is the first time they did it, and you have to give them kudos for just setting it up, getting all the vendors together. If there is going to be a NAMM, a summer NAMM virtually, maybe these are some things that they can just sort of tweak a little bit and make better and give the attendees a better experience. hopefully ask the vendors or the brands to sort of do more live events and not just to do pre-recorded content. And some of the pre-recorded content, when it was presented at that specific time for that specific event, it was also available on YouTube. So, you know, it's not exclusive at that point, right? Did I enjoy it? It was okay. I mean, it was a good event. They need to tweak some things if this is going to happen again, Summer NAMM. And if they do, I think they would create a much better experience for the attendees and even some of the brands, you know. So are other brands or the brands that were a part of NAMM, Believe in Music 2021, are they going to be available, or are they going to do this again for Summer NAMM if it's virtual? I don't know. I would imagine a lot of them will not. Just tweak that a little bit, work around the edges, make things better, you know, think about the content creator as well, and hopefully you can have a better event again if you're going to do this for Summer NAMM. Well, there you have it. Just a quick overview of my thoughts about NAMM Believe in Music 2021. So until next time, peace.